Hey folks, here once again. Welcome back to another review. Hope you all enjoy my review slash epic rant of Punisher Warzone, starring Ray Stevenson. Yeah, that's on my channel right now if you want to check out that. So my Marvel reviews too, my Marvel reviews, and my superheroes plus. Remember, the mask profile picture, not the Batman one. Subscribe to this channel. But anyway, guys, I'm on the, well, just to make it clear, sorry. Oh, I should mention that this will be a rant too, right? Well, that's my channel right there. So make sure to share it, guys. I do appreciate it. Yeah. But anyway, guys, today is the next review here is another 2008 superhero movie. This is the last film of 2008. This came out on Christmas Day back in 2008, and this is my first time seeing this movie. I didn't know about this character, but get to it. It stars I forget the guy's name who plays the character, but Eva Mendes, Samuel Jackson, Scarlett Johansson, and this film sucked. I hated this movie. In the words of Roger Ebert, I hated this movie. This film was a 2008 Euro near nowhere action movie. I mean superhero film. You know, if you ever heard a movie called Sin City, then they made this out of that. Like I said, this film came out in 2008. So let's get more into the spirit, shall we? Okay, I don't know who the hell the spirit is, so I'm going to read up a little bit. He was created by cartoonist Will Eisner. He first appeared in the main feature of a tabloid-sized comic book. You know, you're probably thinking, who was the spirit? I was thinking that too. When I heard this movie, I've heard this film over the years, and I don't know who the spirit was. Heck, he's the eldest of Denny Colt, a private investigator, criminologist based on the fictional Central City, who falls into suspended animation while trying to apprehend the mad scientist Dr. Cobra. Pronounced dead, Colt revives after being interviewed in Wildwood Century. With the blessing of his old friend, Police Commissioner Esty Dolan, Colt becomes a dominant mask-wearing friendly outlaw called the Spirit, who pursues criminals that might otherwise escape capture by law enforcement. The Spirit usually does not possess any superpowers, but relies on his wits and physical powerlessness, as well as the myth of the supposed resurrection in his battles against evildoers. He frequently encounters female fatales over the course of his adventures, including the serial producer P.H. Jill, thief turned troubleshooter Roosevelt Clayton, and his childhood friend Sand Zorf. Sand Zaraf. He also becomes in conflict with the archenemy, the octopus, an unseen criminal mastermind. So that's all I can say about him. But let me get into the production how this movie came in. Now you say this movie was made because this same year Iron Man and the Dark Knight came out, so maybe at the time, okay, you know, I just want to mention some other films like you might know about the Mask, the Jim Carrey movie, but I didn't know about the Mask comic books. I just knew about the movie, and the comic books are doing violent. You probably would think, who is the Mask? The Mask is a very fun, entertaining comedy, superhero comedy film. That's a lot of fun to watch. More seriously though, I would say The Phantom. Billy Zane, I love the Phantom. Yeah, you might not know who the Phantom is, but I love the character the Phantom. He's very interesting. He's a hero on an island, you know, that stops bad guys and stops evildoers, and he's his purple suit is a lot more cooler looking. Yeah, I mean, the Spirit, you know, he reminds me of Dick Tracy. I forgot to mention Dick Tracy last night, by the way, when I was complaining and bitching about how horrible the makeup is on Jigsaw. Like, but I will say this, you know, that Dick Tracy has good makeup. The makeup is really good in that movie. Some of the best makeup I've ever seen on film, and the film looks like a comic strip coming to life, you know. And it's a very well shot looking comic movie. It could have been a lot better. It's a misfire movie, but it didn't bore me. I can appreciate Dick Tracy a lot more, and I like Warren Beatty as the lead. I don't think he should have directed it, in my opinion. That you know, but I thought he was great as Dick Tracy. I think Billy Zane was great as the Phantom. The Shadow, I like that movie, but it could have been a lot better. It definitely has its problems. The Shadow was more of an interesting character, despite how Alec Baldwin is in real life. If he is a jerk, but I would say he is. I like him as the Shadow a lot. You know, that movie needs more work. You know, even the Phantom, I have problems with that. You could have had a, you know, or the Mask could have stuck to the violent comics, but I didn't because Jim Carrey was involved. But that's fine. That movie's still great. You don't always have to stick to the comic books to be good. This movie, I don't know what they were going for. I guess because since The Dark Knight and Iron Man were so, The Dark Knight made $1 billion at the box office, and Batman Begins was successful. So they're probably trying to make it epic, make it great, make it wonderful. You know, let's just throw a character like the Spirit and make it into a live action movie. And people are probably thinking back in 2000, like, who the fuck is the Spirit? Because we don't fucking know who the Spirit is. I mean, come on. Back in 2008 when this movie came, if you unless you read the comics, but I didn't know who the Spirit was. I'm like, what? And this came out on Christmas time. I want to see a movie on Christmas Day. If you want to, release a superhero movie like this, release it in June or July. I guess it couldn't come out because of Dark Knight at the time. Dark Knight, I think, is an overrated movie, and I hate the ending, but Heath Ledger was great. And that's a better shot movie. You know. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm just rambling on there about some stuff. About those comic movies that I think are better. Some of them are not perfect. Well, The Mask is, in my opinion, but those are better movies. The Crow with Brendan Lee, that was great. I like the makeup. It's a badass movie. It's a great movie. It's a classic. In my opinion. Yeah. If you don't think so, then watch this movie and tell me which is better. In development in the 1970s, director William Friedland obtained the film rights to The Spirit and contacted Will Eisner to write the script for a film. He's the man again. Yeah, he's the man that created the comic book character, The Spirit. So yeah, Eisner declined, but recommended Harlan Eslin, who wrote a 2-hour live action script for the filmmaker. Friedland and Elson afterward had an unrelated argument, and the project was abandoned. During the 1980s, wait a minute, Brad Bird, the guy who made The Incredibles, Jerry Reese, a producer, attempted to get an animation adaptation off the ground. Brad Bird could have made a good animated movie out of this. I mean, look at The Incredibles 1 and 2. Those are good movies. Jerry Reeds, he made Tron from 1982. I've never seen that movie. Oh, and he was worked in the animation department for Pete's Dragon. Why couldn't we get these people to work on this film? Space Jam. He worked on Space Jam too. I mean, not Space Jam, not the sequel, but the real Space Jam from 1996 from Michael Jordan. Yeah, sounds like they could have got some good people on board here. You know, like producer, a guy who produced American Graffiti, Star Wars, or George Lucas, The Empire Strikes Back. Couldn't we have these people work on this movie? It's not again an indication of the studio executive praised the screenplay. They let the film be unmarketable, and this version was crap. Sorry, unmarketable. When you have, especially the guys at the time, I guess this was the 1980s. Those people, the studio, but the studio executives are idiots. Because in those later, Gary Guts, Jerry Reese, like I said, they've worked on some films that are really good, like Tron. I've heard Get Peace Dragon. That's a Disney classic, I think. Yeah, Gary Guts, he worked on this Star Wars films, The Dark Crystal, Return to Oz, American Beauty. He worked on some good movies with George Lucas, the original Star Wars films I'm talking about. Yeah, not the sequel trilogy. I'm talking about the original films. And I think these guys are, but again, it was the 1980s, so I'm sorry for freaking out there for having a little fit there. But the thing is, I guess at the time, you had Howard the Duck come out. And superhero movies in the 80s were not big at the time, so I think, no, this making an anime movie with superhero, that probably would have worked. You know, in the 1990s, Michael Uslan, who was actually responsible for making Batman, well, produced it, but getting that movie on, making the darker version of Batman. Yeah, and Benjamin Franklin and Stephen Mayer obtained the rights for the live-action film adaptation. Now, Michael Uslan, you probably should know him for producing the Batman movies. Yeah, yeah, they worked on the Batman film series. They obtained the rights for the live-action film adaptation. The producer promised Eisner that he would not permit anyone who didn't get it. To work on the project, the two ideas pitched to Uslan were put the spirit to a costume and then have the spirit be a resurrected dead man with his supernatural power. Screenwriter John Turman, a comic fan, expressed interest in writing the script. In July 2004, Allard Entertainment acquired the rights to the film. All sub producers Gigi First and Deborah DePreetz, I can't say, they began collaboration with him at a Batman film production to adapt the story. Eisner, who was the protector of the rest of his creations, said that he believed the producer to faithfully adapt the spirit. In 2005, comic book writer Joe Litt was hired to adapt the spirit for the big screen. He worked on the TV series Smallville, but the writer eventually left the project. Houston approached Frank Miller at Will Eisner's memorial service in New York several days later. Weeks after Miller's Sin City was released in theaters. Interest in adaptation of the Jackson Miller's film for the Spirit. Miller had intentionally hesitated doubting skill in adapting the Spirit, but ultimately embraced his personal approach as a writer director. Miller described his decision making. The only thing in my mind was, it's too big and I can't possibly do it. And I refused. And about 3 minutes later, I have his doorway. I turned around and said, nobody else can touch this, and I agreed to get the job on the spot. In July 2006, the film trades press reported Miller would write the direct the film adaptation for the movie. Miller and the producers Miller said that he was putting together a film treatment that included large parts of the spirit stripped panels. As Miller described the project, I intend to extremely faithful to the heart and soul of the material, but it won't be nostalgia. It's too much here than people expect. Miller filmed the spirit using the same digital background that is used for Sin City, or it's shot in black and white like Near Nor. I guess you can say, and 300. Now, I've never seen Sin City. Sin City. I'm not a fan of 300. That's just me. Though I think that's an overrated movie, but that's just my opinion. The film would also copy specific shots from the comic similar to Sin City. I don't think that's a comic book movie. Well, it's a comic book movie, but I wouldn't say it's a superhero film. It's more like a neo noir action thriller type movie. I would say a crime thriller, if you will. That really because Bruce Willis is not wearing a mask in the movie. You know, Miller also began filming Sin City 2. Picture began late spring. Miller held auditions with title role. Metcha was cast in August 2007. Ava Mendes told Miller that she wanted to work with him on the spirit before she had ever seen a script. And he picked him like Jackson was Miller's first choice for the role of the supervillain, the Octopus. Jackson, Miller, and the costume designer developed costumes for the Octopus to wear. They were different for each of his scenes. They include a samurai complete with a wig, a full Nazi uniform, a Western outfit without a proportioned cowboy hat. When asked about the change to the Octopus being distinctive gloves, Jackson said, "It's just an opportunity to be larger than life, to take the Octopus theme of dressing the way he feels every day, or having a theme to a day of life, making some scenes with it. Hopefully the audience will take the ride with us." Film began in October 2007. The Spirit was mainly filmed in Panasonic Genius digital camera. High-speed photography was filmed in Vision. Researchers Phantom camera. The film's release was originally scheduled for January 16, 2009, but on May 16, 2008, it was announced that the release date would be on Christmas, December 25th, 2008, Christmas Day. Uh, the film has about 18 tracks. It's just Frank Miller and the cast talking at Comic Con. They were scheduled to present a panel for the Spirit, though Miller wasn't able to attend due to from hip and leg surgeries. Instead, using a fellow producer presented the panel at which they described the history of it. So I guess you can say it was just a trailer and stuff. I don't remember much marketing for this movie in 2008. I remember not even hearing about this movie. The film was initially released in the United States on December 25th, 2008 to negative reviews and it was a commercial failure. Yeah. Roger Ebert gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, said, "There's not a trace of human emotion in it. To call the characters cardboard is an insult to a useful packing material." One positive review. Mitchell, the actor who played the spirit, managed to meld macho with melodrama to make the spirit come to life. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the cast. You have Gabriel Mitchell as Danny Colt, the spirit, an ambitious and fully eerie young cop. Killed on the job, and he becomes the crime fighter, the spirit. So basically, he's like a supernatural detective. Samuel Jackson, Samuel Jackson as the octopus. Yeah, Will Eisner, who created it, he passed away back in 2005. Oh boy, I'm sure he would love to see his work, punished like this. A former coroner turned psychotic supervillain who plans to bring all Central City to its knees and will without direction. Scarlett Johansson as Silken Floss, female Patel secretary, and she's like the octopus. She's like his accomplice. Eva Mendes as Simber, the spirit's childhood sweetheart. Seduces men, kills them, and uses money to fund criminal exploits. Sarah Paulson as Dr. Helen Dillon, the police commissioner's daughter and a top surgeon, considered her duty to take care of the spirit. Dan Lord as Commissioner. Well, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. But y'all seen? Well, let's see, Gabriel, whatever his name is. You think, but he was in Behind Enemy Lines, Bad Company, The Recruit, Samuel Jackson. Come on, Pulp Fiction. You've seen Samuel Jackson, yeah, Snakes on a Plane, the Star Wars prequel trilogy, and of course Marvel movies. You know, this is the time where he did a cameo in as Nick Fury, and of course being the Avengers films and the Marvel movies, which he's a lot better than those. And you know about villainous roles. He's in the Secret Service. He's got that list, but he's a lot better in there than he is in here. Do the Right Thing, School Days. Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. Jackie Brown, worked with Tarantino, Quentin Tarantino, and like I said, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill Volume 2, Django Unchained, The Hateful Eight, where he's the villain in that too. And of course, there's Nick Fury in the Marvel movies. Die Hard with a Vengeance with Bruce Willis, The Shaft from 2000, Coach Carter, and Kong Skull Island, which he's a villain in that movie too. You know, he's a better villain in that, you know, in those two, in my opinion. Scarlett Johansson, you know, uh, she would go. I guess maybe Sam Jackson was able to get her to part. That's what I'm thinking because you know she would go and be 2 years later. She would go on to be on Iron Man 2 after this. Well, not after this completely, but that's how I'm guessing kind of might have happened. How she became the Black Widow. Yeah, you know, now she's running off the Black Widow and uh, and Iron Man 2 making her first appearance in that. She's a lot better there than she is in here, and Sam Jackson too. Eva Mendes as Eva Mendes, she was in Ghost Rider the year previous with that was a Marvel, and I didn't care about her in that too much. I didn't care about the love story. Not a fan of this actress. Didn't like her in Too Fast Too Furious. Didn't like her in Hitch, and I did not like her in this. Other guys, she was alright. Never been a fan of this actress. Sarah Paulson, she was in the 2012 movie Mud, Ocean's 8, Bird Box, What Women Want. Dan LeRae as the commissioner. Super relatable. He was in season one of Smallville. He played this coach who had the power to, you know, had the ability with his mind to make fire. Yeah, but a really good actor. He was in Independence Day, first movie, Big Mama's House 2, Alien Trespass, TV shows though he was a Morgan Texas Ranger, and like I said, Smallville, yeah, Batman Beyond. He voiced a character in that movie. Oh, Earth Mover. Okay, I remember that. Great episode. Walt Arnold was the coach that he played. A good actor. Stan Cady as Morton. She was in Quantum of Solace. They came out the same year. Superman Unbound. She voiced Lois Lane. She's a lot better in that movie, doing the voice in this movie. She voiced. I'm not gonna do the other superhero movies. Three DC animated movies. That is Justice League World War II, Justice League World, and Justice League Crisis on Phineas, where she voiced Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman. So, you know, Lewis Lublin as Publius Logus. Okay, I think this actor. I think I remember seeing him in The Sopranos. He was in Beverly Hills Cop 3, which I don't like. The Usual Suspects, Father's Day, Suicide Kings. He was in the original in Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Yeah, might not have been a big role in that movie, but at least that's a better comic movie than this. Battleship, terrible movie. TV shows, like I said, I think he might have been the. Yeah, he was in The Sopranos, playing a cop. Jamie King as Lois Rocks. The only movie I can think of is White Chicks. Yeah. Oh, and she Brother does it too. She was in that as well. Fanboy, she was in that. I remember her in that. And she also was in Sin City as well. Pacific Fago. Richard Porno as Donald. I can't say his name right, but he's an actor known for being in movies like Good Morning Vietnam, Kindergarten Cop, Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, Law Abiding Citizen. You know, just to name a few. Arthur the Cat as himself. Arthur the Cat, and the cat in this movie looks like the cat Midnight from uh, Catwoman. I'm talking about the star in the Halle Berry movie. I'm like, Fair Amount DC Comics Principal. For this, I have cameos in the film. But the film is directed and written by Frank Miller. And I'm sorry to say it, but you did a terrible job, Frank Miller. I guess you can say he's a filmmaker too. He's known for making graphic novels such as Daredevil, and of course, 1988, he made Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, which I love that comic book. That comic book is a masterpiece. I mean, he could have directed the Dark Knight Returns animated movie or make a Dark. I think he could do a Dark Knight Returns live action movie, do it better than Christopher Nolan. You know, and his work include he had a small part in RoboCop 2. Oh yeah, and I think he also yeah, oh yeah, he wrote the script for RoboCop 3. Yeah, he wrote the script for RoboCop 2 and 3, which I like the script for RoboCop 2. That was good. But RoboCop 3, no. He was an actor in Daredevil. He played a man in Opinion because I guess he made some of the comics. Directed Sin City. Like I said, that's an action crime anthology film. I don't really see that as a superhero movie. And then 300, Rise of Empire, Sin City 2. So I guess after The Spirit, let's see, he didn't really go to work on directing movies much anymore. Well, he directed Sin City 2, but yeah, apparently because I guess The Spirit was such a flop. And I hate to say it, I've never seen Sin City, but again, I'm not a fan of I can't say I'm a fan of Sin City. I've never seen the movie, but I would like to. I'm sure that's a good movie, and that's the problem with the movie. It's trying to be Sin City, but with the superhero. It's trying to be big and epic. It feels like a rush film that nobody knows about the character. It's based on the spirit created by Will Eisner, produced by Deborah Del Burdett. She produced films like The Wedding Planner, Undead or Alive, Suburban Girl, movies I've never seen, Gigi, whatever her name is, I can't say it right, sorry. Phantom of the Opera, 21 Bridges, My Spy, Draft Day, cinematography by Bill Pope. For another company, he did it for Darkman. Darkman's a better movie than this. Army of Darkness, Fire in the Sky, Blank Check, Clueless, Spider-Man 2, beautiful cinematography of that, and Bedazzled, and Spider-Man 3. Even though I hate Spider-Man 3, this is even worse. Men in Black 3, Baby Driver, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, came out in the Jungle Book 2016 remake. So good cinematography. David Newman, let's see, he does the music score for the film, which I was not a fan of, to be honest, but that's just me. He did the music for movies like The Brave Little Toaster, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, Tommy Boy, starring the late, I can barely freaking speak, can I? The late Chris Farley, The Phantom. Oh, he did the music score for The Phantom? Okay, yeah. I love the music score in The Phantom. That's pretty good. Not the best memorable, but it's pretty good. The Night of Professor, Jingle All the Way, Anastasia, Night of Professor 2, Bedazzled, he did the score for Dr. Dolittle 2, Daddy Daycare, Six Over Daddy Murphy, Scooby 2, Monsters, Monsters Unleashed, and Scooby Doo The Mystery Begins, and West Side Story from 2021, I guess the Steven Spielberg remake that he did. Scooby Doo and the Curse Lake Monster. Curse Lake Monster. Wait a minute. I'm trying to look for 1996. I know I see Jingle the Way. Okay, I guess he didn't do the music for Independence Day. But some of those films I mentioned, those are good film scores. But this film score wasn't big into, but that didn't really care for it. Production company is Dark Entertainment. It's distributed by Lionsgate It was released December 25th, 2008. It's 103 minutes long. The budget to make the movie was $60 million, and at the box office, it made $39 million worldwide. So, yeah, it was a flop. No way to put it. It was a flop. But basically, what the story of the spirit is, it's 1 hour and 48 minutes long, is that a rookie cop named Denny Colt, basically, he dies, he gets shot on the job, and he ends up becoming a hero known as the Spirit. The form of a spirit to track down this cold-hearted killer called the Octopus, played by Samuel Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson. Sorry. He also intends to wipe clean the city of all ill elements, and basically he has to stop him. There'll be spoilers in here, by the way, if you've never seen the movie. So I'm not going to talk about the movie itself. So again, if you like the movie, I don't understand why, but that's cool. Like I said, I prefer some of those other superhero comic movies that I mentioned are better than this that came out in the 90s, the one that I mentioned. Man, I know the characters. Hey, I didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy was or Ant-Man was, but I ended up really enjoying those movies. And Doctor Strange. First Doctor Strange, really enjoyed that. I didn't know too much about the Doctor Strange character or Guardians of the Galaxy. Didn't know who the heck they were, or even Ant-Man. But you know what? They surprised me. Even if the audience, the people don't know it, as long as the trailer's good, people will go see the movie. But I'm glad Ant-Man did well and Guardians did too. You know. But you have the opening titles, which I don't remember them. You have the spirit getting called. And the thing about this film, it is like it looks like Frank Miller is basically just making it look like a comic book and not giving us a good story. Or to me, the story's just not very interesting. This movie, yeah, it nearly sucks my spirit out of me. But it's a visually stunning looking movie. It's more like Frank Miller's just making it look like a comic book come to life. Like he's trying to make the film look exactly like a comic book and not a movie. That he's more focused on the visuals. You know. But he sees some call from Dan Jurdy, who plays the detective Suzeman, about something big going near an old shipwreck in the mud flats. Something that could involve the spirit's arch nemesis, the octopus. He dons his costume, his mask, and it does look cool, but he's like dialoguing. And honestly, what aggravates me about him, he's doing his Batman voice. Doing the Batman voice, like Christian Bale's Batman over the top voice. He's doing an over the top voice, saying, "I protect this city. I'm the spirit. I died a long time ago." You know, yeah. And he's jumping on the rooftops and stuff. This woman's being mugged in the alleyway. He saves her, which I don't remember. He gets stabbed. She's like, "Thank you, spirit." And he's like, "Thank you." He just receives a nice room. The woman asks, "What are you?" But the spirit runs. Then the spirit runs away. You have this Eva Men's who comes out of the water, and you find, she's sensitive. She's you better shoot this cop, but Octopus kills this cop. They find the wounded cop. They get these certain flashbacks from the cop. It was really the Octopus who did it. They flee with both the chest, but he took the chest. She says she's gonna take it back from him later. The Octopus kills the cops by ripping his head off. Yeah, but Octopus and but yeah, Sam Jackson and the Spirit they get into a fight. And the Spirit, I'm sorry, he's a weak superhero. He gets his ass handed to him. Yeah, Samuel Jackson kicks his ass, and Samuel Jackson. There's just lines of dialogue in here that I hate the dialogue too. That's if Frank Miller wrote like, "Where'd you go, you old fart? Or you fart? Or, you know, I don't want egg on my face. Or I'm a god. I'm yeah, finally." It's just like really bad. The dialogue is ridiculous. And Frank Miller, you were the one that does not like the Batman 60 show. Well, that's cheesy and campy, but that is knows what it is. This movie, you put some cheesy dialogue in here and campy dialogue. Yeah, the Batman 60 show is better. At least the Batman. The Spirit character in this movie, this Spirit sucks. He gets his ass kicked. He gets shot by these idiot henchmen who just pow pow pow. He gets his ass knocked down. He ties him up to it looks like a toilet seat, and they just get into a fight. There's one scene where the Spirit's on the Sam Jackson's punching him. Sam Jackson's like, oh. I'm thinking, what the hell is this? A bad Super Nintendo beat 'em up game? It's like one of the Super Nintendo games where you can hear those noises. So I'm like, what is this? And it reminded me of the mask when Stanley Ipkiss is punching Dorian in the face, but Dorian's not making faces. And that was a lot funnier when he's like, when you kill it, what? Ah! That was a lot funny. But in this movie, it's just so poorly done. And the Spirit gets his ass kicked. You know, that him and the Spirit takes a connection or whatever. He gets away by his lover, not a police commissioner. They flirt a bit together. She feels her responsibility to take care of him. She doesn't want to get enough sleep. She always has to worry about him. He knows his gold locket in Susan's hand, and it's Sam's Nebula. And apparently, the commissioner knows his identity because he went to the commissioner, tell him that he's dead and that he'll be like his spirit. He's like, okay, but these two don't get along. And I don't. That dude plays him again. I like Dan Larray as an actor, good actor, but in here he's just a pissed off cop, always yelling. Him and the spirit just fussing. There's no sign that they're friends or whatever. But as San Francisco's Lockett, you look back on Denny Cole's past. They grew up together in Central City. She brought him to Lockett and shiny things, and they lived happily until Sam's father cop was shot dead one in a struggle between him, officer, and Denny's uncle. So she now hates cops because of that, and she's like, I want to be rich, I want to be this, and there's scenes where they're together. And I don't really care for this love story. It just was not uninteresting. We just see montages of them being in love. It does remind me of Batman Begins a little bit because it's flashbacks, and I hate flashback. It just kind of takes some stuff from the story away from me. It's just like I don't know what's going on. If you're gonna do an origin story, at least give me his past so I can know this character. The thing is with Denny Cole, the spirit himself, he's not an interesting character to me. He's not interesting. He's very bland. You know, uh, you know, just like cardboard or a tap water. He's just not very interesting to watch. You know, he's very lame in the lead. The lead is lame, and so she starts quitting. He's like, "Oh, I hate you. I don't see you anymore." And he's like, "This might should be the colonel. I still gotta arrest her." The octopus is still up in the chest, but discover that it does not contain the mysterious blood. He wants the blood of Hercules, and he gets mad at his minions, kills one of his minions. He learns to sense vomit and the mixing of the chest, and the villains decide to create an order. They send him. They visit the office of a high-class fence named Donaville. She pays him to locate the treasure. He gives her the treasure location so that person has a will to ensure his family's safety for selling her out. And she's talking about is like, they mentioned Robin, all DC character Robin. He's got a nice ass. And she's like, she just sits on a printer, it takes pictures of her ass. And she's like, this is perfect ass. Yeah. It seems like the only thing Frank Miller was interested in is in Eva Men's body instead of scanning her. He just wants to film her ass half the time, just to make her look good. And again, I don't care for Eva Men's. As an actress, she's not good, just in my opinion. But Spirit intends to fall in love with her, so basically he's a womanizer, so he's like James Bond. He flirs with one woman, Stanley Connect, who voiced Lois Lane and Wonder Woman in some DC animes. But in here, she's like, "Good evening, Spirit. I'm doing loud." She speaks like she's really loud and really over the top. And there's a little cheesy moment where they're just talking about sand a little bit when they show me because he knows her. He doesn't tell the commissioner. He does this commercial, not commercial, but it's a piece of the camera. He's like, "Well, kids, be good, stay in school, and brush your teeth." So that was a stupid moment. They investigate the body, and then the guy that shot himself, and he finds that it was saying it was Eva Men's, so he starts to go after her. She's again became a jewel thief. She's about to arrest her. She stands more fully and he was like, "You sure?" And you do see her ass though. So like I said, it's like Frank Miller just wants to film her body instead of making her a good actress, and she's not a good actress either. It's like, did you get the part because you just want to film her a hot body or something? I'm not saying Eva Mendes is a bad looking woman, but as an actress, I don't think she's a good actress. I'm not saying she's a good looking woman. Don't get me wrong, but it's like she's just in the movies because of her looks. But again, I would say Scarlett Johansson is a sexier woman. Brie Larson is sexier. I could name a bunch of comic book movies I've seen where actresses are better. You know, hell, even Uma Thurman's better as Poison Ivy, and she's still hot. Even men's. You know what? Forgive me for saying that. Forget that. Forget that. She ain't that hot. Yeah. She's just hot to trot, and not that hot at all. But tries to arrest him. He tries to tell her about the past. Talks about her being a little girl, and she like pushes him out the window. And the idiot gets caught lazily, just has to pull his pants down so he gets belt so he can, get to this fence. Not this fence, this elevator where these women are staring at him laughing. So I'm like, yeah, he's got his pants down. Yeah, he's an interesting superhero. Gets pushed out of a window like a bitch. He takes down several clones. He goes to face with Flaw. She kisses the spirit, but she then injects him. He's an idiot. The spirit awakens to find himself to Dennis's chair with the Nazi suit on. He's doing people do this, and this is where Samuel Jackson's like, I want to be a god. I want to drink the blood of Hercules, and he says that he needs the spirit, he needs his blood. That he was the one that doctor that operated on him or whatever. And this scene goes on and on. And this movie should be known for fucking animal cruelty because the white cat, they freaking disintegrated the white cat. I know it's not a real cat, but I'm like, really? I don't like animal cruelty in movies. That's just me. Or shows. He wants to be immortal, invincible, basically. He used his corpse as a test subject. He injected himself and he was born, so that's what this came from. That is not very interesting at all. That makes no sense. He wants to drink the mystical blood. He said, Zeus had a few gods, and the best one was Hercules because Zeus couldn't keep it in his pants. Yeah, and I'm not kidding you. Some of this dialogue is terrible. He escapes with plaster and the kiss, but like an idiot, he gets stabbed. So he gets injected by a shot, stabbed, pushed out of a window by a woman, gets his ass beat by the octopus. The spirit is a lame character. He sucks. In my opinion, he sucks. He's a shitty character because he falls too hard for women. I'm like, dude, can you just keep it in your pants for once? You know, if you're gonna be a detective, a cop, you should at least have brains to know something. This makes you an idiot character. He remembers Ellen the city all needing him, so he swims to the surface. They have this, and some shots in here, some of the CGI looking is shit is terrible. You know, he gets into Helen's care, and he has a standoff with him where Sam makes a deal with somebody to get the chest, and so she wants the chest, and she gives him the boss. They're shooting at each other. One of the idiots shoot the gun at each other, and her and Scarlett has to have a back and forth a little bit. Octopus shows up himself with some man. Spirit shows up, tries to shoot at the Spirit. He's like, Octopus, I ain't gun. He's shooting him. The Spirit, excuse me, Spirit fights him a bit. They get into a bit of a scuffle, but he just tries to drink the blood. Even shoots it, and somehow During their fight, though, he puts a grenade out and Octopus just sandwich and blows up. A really bad CGI, and even she knows that it's him, Denny, and they share a kiss. Which again, I don't really buy them being in love. I don't buy their chemistry. It feels really forced. You know, it's kind of like when Kylo Ren and Daisy Ridley, Ray, when they Kylo and Ray when they just share a kiss. It's out of nowhere. you know, it seems like the spirit rather spend his time smooching with any woman than being a real detective story. You know, you know. I mean, Dick Tracy even doesn't fall for women seducing him a lot. I mean, yeah, he lets Madonna kind of seduce him there just for that minute when she kissed him in that one scene in Dick Tracy, but he's very much of a lawman and at least focuses on doing his job. But he does get has to get his butt saved a couple times though. But it's not like he's. But he does kick ass though. You know, we just don't see it enough. You know, in montages. Sorry about Dick Tracy, but at least Dick Tracy can throw a good punch. This spirit can't even throw a good punch. And the lame fighter, you know, they beat each other, work about it, and spirit convinces doing to let Sand go for saving the world. Floss discovers that Octopus is her finger crawling toward her. She picks it up, planning to clone him, and saying, "Who knows what I'll do at dawn." The spirit then travels on the rooftop with his cats. Midnight. I'm surprised Holly Berry didn't show up and said, "Hey, thanks for borrowing my cat, Midnight." You know. And he says, "This is my city. Until then, I'll be the sea spirits," and he saves the world, and that's the spirits. Yeah. Okay. I want to get finished. I'm talking about done. Some of this crap rap movie. Yeah, it nearly sucked the life out of me. But anyway, the spirits. Give my final thoughts on this film. Again, in the words of Roger Ebert, I hated this. I hated this movie. It's terrible. It's it's boring. First of all, the reason I hate it, okay, because the story sucks. The spirit is not an interesting character. You could have made a great character. Like I said, I didn't know who Ant-Man Guardians of the Galaxy was. People probably know what Guardians of the Galaxy was when that came out in 2014. But that movie worked because it had a good story. You had a good cast. Yeah, and it didn't take itself so seriously. It didn't. It was fun. It was entertaining. That's why we know who Guardians of the Galaxy is now. And Ant-Man worked because Ant-Man was fun. Yeah, I didn't like the villain, but you know, despite that, it's still an entertaining movie. And we got the sequels and him in the Avengers movies, Avengers Endgame. You know, and those Marvel movies, you know, those Ant-Man movies weren't. Doctor Strange 2 is even better. You know, because I think Elizabeth Olsen is better than the villain in Samuel Jackson. Now again, the story I thought sucks. The story of he goes like to defend Central City. I'm like, really? Now we're if that was in the comics, whatever. I don't care. To me, there's only one Central City that belongs to this to one hero, and that is the Flash. You know, but the octopus, you know, defeating the octopus, and it's just yeah, it's a shitty film. It's very boring to watch. The dialogue is terrible. The directing, writing, Frank Miller did terrible. You know, you had to crap on like they come from Batman '6 show when well when you look at one of the Batman movies, I think it was Batman '89 when made him. He's like the worst thing to do is you don't deputize Batman. Well, you don't make the spirit because you can't direct the movie. Batman, say what you will about the '6 show, but at least when the first season came out, when the first episode of High Did World came out, Smack the World, when those came out, Batman was a huge Batmania begun. Batman '6 show became a hit. This movie did not become a hit. It flopped. You know, it's got bad directing and bad writing. Frank Miller, and you also made RoboCop 3. Well, you wrote the script for that, and that film sucked. You cannot write a movie. You can't do a movie. Maybe Sin City, but you cannot. You know, RoboCop 3, yeah, it's science fiction, but I still consider RoboCop a superhero. But you made RoboCop, you know, a wimp in that movie. RoboCop gets his ass kicked, and the Spirit gets his ass kicked. So he's an uninteresting character. He gets, like I said, pushed out of a window, injected by a shot, stabbed, tied up. You know, the woman stabs at him. The Spirit is he's a complete wimp. He's a sissy, you know, character. And the actor who plays him, Gabriel Macha, you suck as an actor. You suck. Yeah. You know, the Batman might be longer with Robert Pattinson, but that was a more interesting detective story. Eva Mendes sucks. You know, She's just there to look hot, you know. And I hate to say it, but Scarlett Johansson, she wasn't very good in this movie. She wasn't good in Home Alone 3. The Home Alone 3 sucked. Samuel Jackson, I'm sorry, folks. Don't get me wrong. I love Samuel Jackson. He's a great actor. I think he's great as Nick Fury. Thank God he went on to begin in the MCU movies. And Scarlett, too. They went on to something better. Yeah. Yeah, I feel sorry for them doing this movie. Uh, I think Samuel Jackson, because I thank him because maybe he is the reason that Scarlett Johansson became the Black Widow. Maybe he suggested Jon Favreau to her about her, and for a good reason. You know, it gave her a better shot because she did have potential, and she was a great Black Widow. She really steals that movie. She's a lot better. In here, she's saying lines of dollar and wearing glasses. I'm like, she don't need to wear glasses. She doesn't want to take the glasses off. I want to see your entire beautiful face without the glasses. You know, yeah, and her, yeah, she looks a lot hotter as Black Widow. And all the Avengers movies, you know, even with her blonde hair, looks hotter. And she turned 40 this year. She still looks great. And Samuel Jackson, great villain, you know, good actor. He's trying in this movie, but some of the dialogue they give him, like, no egg on my face, I want to be a god, or finally, or him just yelling or being over the top. He can do that in some movies, but when he does it in here, it's ridiculous. It's just bad dialogue. You know what? Good dialogue, like Star Wars. You know, you are under arrest, my lord. You know that fight he has with with Palpatine in Episode 3. That's a better fight than the one with the Spirit. That's more of a badass fight. You know, you have lost, my lord. You know, he's got some good dialogue in there. Or, I love Snakes on a Plane. Say what you will about that movie, but I love that movie. I love his line. I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. That's a badass line. In here, the dialogue by Frank Miller and stuff, it was like, what are you thinking? You worked with Quentin Tarantino, you worked with Jon Favreau, you worked with some great directors, with George Lucas. Say what you will about the prequels, but he's great as Mace Windu. He's not over the top. He's not hamming it in those movies. He's a great Jedi. I love him as Mace Windu. He's great. He's great in Die Hard with a Vengeance. Saying Zeus thinks you're well. You know what? How about in Die Hard with a Vengeance when he says, "Yeah, my name is Zeus, as in the god, the mighty god, the Greek god mythology god Zeus. Yeah, don't fuck with me. I'll put a lightning bulb up your ass." Yeah, those are better lines of dialogue where he can Die Hard with a Vengeance. He's being over the top. He's swearing. Yeah, but it's fun. It's entertaining to listen to. You know, Die Hard with a Vengeance is better. It's a lot more entertaining to watch than this. This film is not entertaining. It's boring. Yeah, cinematography is nice. I'll admit that. The editing, the fight scenes are suck. I don't remember the music score too much, and it sounds cheesy dialogue, just in a horrible way. Boring villains, weak villains, terrible villains. Scarlett and Sam just seem to be doing it for the big paycheck. Even man, it just seems like the film was just focused on her ass half the time and trying to make her look great, trying to make her look hot, and that's it. Yeah, I don't think she was ever a good actress in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, I do think she's a gorgeous looking woman, but as an actress, you suck. You please stop being in movies because you're not good at it. But I just think she went further, but just because she wasn't very good in Ghost Rider either. You know, the Ghost Rider, even though it's meh, it doesn't. Yeah, at least Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze can be more of a badass at times. Ghost Rider's a badass most of the time. That film just needs a lot more action. But despite that, though, yeah, Frank Miller writing this movie, you had so many people that could have made an animated movie, or people that could have worked on the movie. But I do think the studio, I mean, at the time it started in the 80s, so at the 80s, superheroes weren't a thing. Brad Bird did not make, at the time, didn't have the Iron Giant. You didn't have the Incredibles. So in the 80s, you did not have these superhero movies that were making money at the box office. Superhero movies at the time were not a big deal at that time. Were not profitable. And nearly in the 90s, because sometimes in the 90s when they came out after Batman 89, and you had the same year this movie came out as Iron Man and the Dark Knight, and they're probably thinking, wait a minute, check, so we're going to make this big and epic, and he's like says Spears doing his Batman voice, but the one thing I would give this movie I like about it, the visual, it's a beautiful looking movie. It's stunning, but that's the problem. It's just like Frank Miller doesn't care about. He's got the bad writing in here. The direction is bad. He's more like he's just focused on making Eva Mendes look great. He's making the film. He wants to make the film look great. It's a great looking movie, visually very beautifully and stunning movie. But that's it. It's just very much eye candy. And when you watch for the characters are lame. They're forgettable. You know, the commissioner is yeah, plays commissioner. Uh, Dan LeRae, he's just over the top and always angry and pissed off. And you know, it tries to make you care about some scenes, but I don't care because each scene I'm bored and you want you needed and I'm not interested. I'm not invested in the story. I'm not invested in the character of the spirit. He's just a lame character in my opinion. Thank God this movie flopped because it sucked. It sucked the spirits out of the people who probably saw this movie in the theater. And I'm sorry if you had to sit through this. If you enjoyed Sin City and you were going to this movie thinking, "Yay, it's gonna be great," no. Honestly, I really watched Sin City. I've never seen that, but I want to. I'm sure it's better than this. And Frank Miller just trying to be copy Sin City, but make a superhero movie at it. You know, and them just trying to rush a film like this. It feels like a rushed movie. Like they just wanted. The big problem is the studio wants a big movie. You know, because The Dark Knight was such a hit that they want to copy that, and it fails. Not every movie needs to be like The Dark Knight, and they still try to do it sometimes. The Amazing Spider-Man, though, I like it. I like Amazing Spider-Man and Man of Steel, but they try to be like The Dark Knight, and that's why I can see why some people don't like those movies. I like them. That's just my opinion. I'll, I reviewed Man of Steel already. I'll share my review of that. And then why I like it, if you'll see that review eventually in my reviews playlist eventually one day. But that's why I like The Amazing Spider-Man. I like The Amazing Spider-Man. My opinion could change on it. I don't like Spider-Man 3. I hate that movie. But yeah, trying to have a darker tone with these characters just doesn't work. And this movie tries to have a bit of a dark tone and tries to have cheesy dialogue at the time, campy dialogue. Are you trying to be dark or serious? What is this? I'm not getting this film. I don't get it. It's a confusing movie. It's boring. It's lame. I'm sitting there watching this movie, looking at the time, or I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, is this movie over yet? Because I'm bored. You know. Yeah. And I will admit the pacing is pretty good too. It feels like it goes by at a good pace, and that's the problem. It's just not, and it's just the story's not. It's uninteresting. And I can't catch on with the story. I'm not invested in the story. I'm just bored out of mind. But anyway, guys, I don't know what I can say about the most spirit. But guys, my rating for the spirit, I'm gonna give this a thumbs down for the spirit. And my rating for the spirit, I'm gonna give it 1 out of 5 first. It's a beautiful looking movie, visually stunning, a great movie, and I can't look at, but that's about it. It's just a beautiful looking movie. But despite that, it's a terrible film. Yeah. One of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen, comic book films. One of the worst. Yeah. Terrible movie. Never watch it again. It's just thumbs down for the spirit. And my rating for the film once again is 1 out of 5 stars. So guys, if you've seen the spirit, tell me in the comments down below. What do you guys think of this movie? Do you like it or do you hate it in your opinion? Just tell me in the comments down below. Alright guys. Hope y'all enjoyed my review of 2008. Now, getting 2000s, we are now going to finish up. We're talking about some movies that came out in 2009. Now I'm getting into the year 2009. And y'all know I go by years and months. And the next review will be hopefully a better movie than this. It might be a double feature kind of review, by the way. I'll put it in there just so you know. But anyway, it is Hulk versus Thor and Wolverine. Can you guys see? Put my finger to it a little more. Right here. Sorry for the glare. Come on, glare. Just get a little better. But Hulk versus Thor and Wolverine, which is the sixth Marvel animated feature film. Let me show you the DVD really quick. I think it's right here. Okay. Yep. But Hulk versus Thor and Wolverine, starting with the year 2009, because this came out in January, so I'll be starting with this. So, and you'll see it on the community post as well. But guys, again, I hope you look forward to my review of Hulk versus Thor and Wolverine. Remember, we're starting in the year 2009. That will be the last year for the 2000 superhero reviews. Yes, 2009 is the last year. Remember, 2000, 2009. So I've been on this since April, so it's been a good while. But Well, before the end of the year, I can get this done. So, guys, tell me what you think about the Spirit Bread down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Uh, what do you think of Infinity? Do you agree with me that Samuel Jackson and Scarlett Johansson are better than the Marvel movies? If you like even missing actors, that's fine. But I do think she's an attractive woman. But I don't think she's a good actress in my opinion. I just never liked her as an actress. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think about this movie down below. Do you like it or do you hate it? If you like it, please tell me why. Explain to me. And again, I have my reasons for liking the Phantom. Or the Mask. And so I did review those. Check those out. Or Darkman because I felt like they're better stories. You know. Yeah, and I like the characters in those movies more. But that's just me personally. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think about Spirit down below. And stay tuned for I started with the 2009 reviews for Hulk versus Thor and Wolverine. I ain't gonna share the. I'll share an ID picture of it when I review it, but you'll see. You know what I'm talking about later. But thanks guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye.